Hello, dear Sagittarius. I am Jamie Dawn, your revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your June 2021 horoscope. And let's get right to it because we have Mercury retrograding opposite your sign in Gemini. And it's a bit of a doozy, I'm sure, for all of us. But Sagittarius, you're coming off of this beautiful full moon eclipse that happened on May 26th. And I would imagine that something got stirred up for you that you can release. Maybe it was a belief about relationship. It was a belief about maybe how you show up in relationship, or a fear that bubbled up for you that maybe you now can truly embrace and believe that the future, this is all of the Sagittarius energy, the future really can be beautiful. And it is best when it is shared with somebody who you feel that you can partner with. Now, that can be romance, of course, but it also can be professional, and it may be even how you partner with yourself. And the reason that this is so potent is because Mercury is retrograding in Gemini in your 7th house. And so if you are tracking, this is for sun, moon, or rising of Sagittarius. And of course, it is personalized based on your natal chart. So of course, come see me if you would like to get a little more insight. You can find me at jamiedawn.com. But let's just talk about this Mercury retrograde. And I talk really more in depth on my celestial wisdom videos that I release every week. But for Sagittarius, this 7th house, whether it's marriage or business partner, Mercury may call for a renegotiation of terms, meaning you and your partner may have gone through some truth telling. You may have had some situations where information was revealed. There was a releasing of energy that happened, and it affects that personal relationship, or it affects the agreements in which you two relate to each other. And so you may go back through and renegotiate now that you have this information, now that there's something that has emerged and truth has been revealed, that now it's time to change things. And it's good because when you think about it, we enter into a partnership or relationship with expectations, and we set agreements in place. Hey, how do you want to deal with chores, or how do you want to define our relationship? What does relationship actually look like for you? Some of us are casual, some of us are deeply bonded, some of us want to move in together, some of us want to get married, right? It's those kind of things that maybe when you started the relationship, it wasn't where it is now. And so now you're like, I was fine with casual. Now I want a bigger commitment. That could be one thing. It may be, one of those things where it's as simple as, I used to take out the trash. Now it's your turn. I don't want to do that anymore. Or we always clean the house. Now let's hire a housekeeper, somebody to come and clean for us. Many different things that may show up here. The rules, if you will be revisited. So think of it that way. Maybe there's certain behaviors or body language in which you communicate with your partner, or they communicate with you, that you're saying, that doesn't work for me anymore. Let's figure out a way to bring out the unspoken and give it a voice. That's another way that this Mercury retrograde in Gemini can affect you. It also may bring up some old issues that you thought had been forgotten, that you've had to bite your tongue, or you haven't been able to really speak to because it wasn't the right time, or you've been dealing with something else that distracted you, and now it's coming back up, and you need to air out the differences. You need to air out your opinion. You need to get all of that information out into the light so that you can talk about it and you can get to a greater understanding. Now, granted, with Mercury retrograde, misunderstanding can often color our conversations and the way we make decisions and our thought process. However, this is a time where you can really take your time and talk through it more than once. Remember that some conversations are to be continued. You could have a lot of content and it gets overwhelming, and you need to step back in the retrograde time, process it, then come back and revisit it. This is not a great time to sign contracts. It's not a great time to get married. I understand that some of you Sages are planning weddings and you're ready to get married and all of that. Just keep in mind that if you've already started that ball rolling and you've got your date and everything is happening, there may be delays. It may not go according to plan. So please keep your sense of humor about it. And let's just say, for example, you are getting married, you've set the time for, say, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Give yourself some space and grace that it may be 3:30 or it could be 4 o'clock. Maybe the officiant is running late, gets caught in traffic, whatever it might be. So have a backup plan to keep your guests entertained during that time. That's a way to mitigate this. And of course, try not to be the bridezilla if you're the female or the male, just really give yourself permission to have that lighthearted feeling. Remember, as one of my teachers says, take your practice seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. So, let the guests just rest and relax, let yourself rest and relax and enjoy, because you and your partner are bonding. And that's the most important thing. I will say, just as a little side note, that some of you Sages who have been going through great conflict within your relationships, this is a month where if you are renegotiating and you are airing out and talking about some of these issues, you may decide to let it go. You may both agree that it's time to walk away, and most likely it will be a final decision. Now, do I believe that everything is dead and gone and never coming back to life? No, of course not. It can be reinvented. It can be renegotiated down the road. But whatever the issues are, I really feel as though you'll put them to rest. And then we have another cosmic support to this as Venus moves into Cancer in your 8th house, and that starts on June 2nd, so right at the beginning. And because Mercury is going to be retrograding the entire month of June, more or less, it's in shadow even when it goes direct on the 21st, 22nd of June. It'll stay in shadow until the first week of July. So consider Mercury retrograde all month. Venus moving into Cancer in the 8th house will activate a little bit more of that protective energy, the empathy, the feelings of I can attract from my partnerships and from my resources that I share with others, that I can maybe help them feel protected. I can help them feel mothered. I can give a little bit more out of my emotional body. And that feels good to me because I'm going to be looking at what it is that really gives me great pleasure in taking care of myself and of others and the resources that we have together. And so also with this 8th house, I would imagine that some of you Sagittarius, your intuitive and psychic abilities are going to be super heightened here, because you're going to be attracting all kinds of signs and information from the emotional body that's going to be talking to you. And so you're going to be able to receive maybe opportunities to take care of others or take care of yourself, that self-care. And in doing so, you're asking for signs, you're asking for information, you're asking for the universe to bless you. That's that partnership that you create this bond with, and then receive the signs and messages. So do pay attention to those. I would also say that it's possible you could take some things personally. So if for some reason you are waiting on a loan, or you're waiting on some sort of resource from some third party that doesn't come immediately, because again, we have that Mercury retrograde delaying things, try not to take it personally, especially if you're dealing with communication issues where maybe you've reached out to somebody from the past, because Mercury retrograde has a way of bringing, excuse me, people from the past back to us, or that you're thinking of, hey, I should reach out to this friend or this person, and they don't immediately respond, or you don't like their response. It's very easy to take it personally with Venus here in Cancer, and look at it from that place of withholding your resources to help them, or to maybe even overgive here. There is a good indication that you could be overgiving at times. However, I would also say that many of you Sages will attract females into your life that want to help give you the resources that you need in order to feel emotionally bonded with a particular decision that needs to be made. That's further emphasized with the Gemini new moon on June 10th in your 7th house, because you may need a resource or you may need something that allows you to be able to show up as a partner or helps you maybe invest in a business, even though I would say if you can hold off until July to actually take the action, make that final decision, that would be best. But the Gemini new moon is an eclipse, and it will most likely have you setting some new intentions, receiving some new blessings that you're ready to invest in a partnership, personal or professional. You may also find that if you have been waiting for some news that you didn't receive back in May, that June 10th, around this time, this new moon, you may receive that news then, and it affects the relationships or the partnerships in your life. The other thing is the 7th house has to do with competition. And I would also say that if you have felt like you are in competition with someone or an entity, that sort of thing, you may receive some new information that helps to put you above your competition or helps you to maybe remove that competition in your life. And so you're focused maybe on the end game, because you're going to set up a whole new 6-month cycle with this new moon. And your end game is going to be with that higher vision versus the day-to-day or me versus you. It may become more of it's us, me and my partnership or partnerships. It's us versus how do we move that bigger picture forward? How do we, get to that end game in the long run? I would also say we have Mars entering Leo on the 11th of June, so right after this new moon, and that is also going to activate in your 9th house, which is very complementary because you've got fellow fire signs here. So Mars will make a natural trine to your sun, moon, or rising sign, giving you some more drive and passion and energy to seek truth, to seek that meaning, to shine, to get answers that maybe you didn't receive before, and also to put you in a position of authority, to put you in a leadership position where you may have received some truth or you may have received information. And this goes along with the competition that maybe your focus is now on the future of where you're going, and you're ready to shout it on the mountaintop. And Mars will energize that and give you that platform in which you can say, this is who I am, this is who we are, and this is what we believe, and this is what we're fighting for, and this is why we want to do it. And you may also find that as you step out on that platform or that stage, that others who share that same belief will start to line up with you, and that you will be able to have far-reaching conversations, or you will be able to have a far-reaching presence that allows you to expand the mind, allows you to do the things that you love to do, which is find truth, find meaning, have some fun, and do it in your own independent way. This also can energize those of you, Sagittarius, who are single or coupled. So it can energize the sexual nature, because we're dealing with Mars here, where it makes you really feel sexy. It makes you feel like you and your partner, or if you're single, that you can then really attract and engage with somebody new who shares this independent spirit, but also a sense of loyalty and a sense of steadfastness, and yet open-mindedness. So I would say that a lot of you Sagittarius, if you're single, will be attracting to you someone who is empathetic and also someone who is passionate. Empathy and passion can be a wonderful complement, just like fire and water can complement each other if they're kept in harmony and in balance. And so I would venture to say that Sagittarius, even though it is a Mercury retrograde, I'll keep reminding us of that, not always the best time to start anything new. But if you do meet and start dating somebody, take your time, enjoy just that sexy, fun moment of getting to know that person. And keep in mind that because Mercury is retrograde, you most likely won't have all the information about that person, not to make you suspicious, but just to keep it realistic that this is about you having fun and enjoying the process of dating versus, hey, are we getting a U-Haul moving in together already? Okay. So the other thing is that we do have Jupiter retrograding in Pisces in your fourth house on June 20th. So you will be revisiting some home themes. So if you're looking at beautifying your home, moving homes, or changing something in your home life, most likely this will have you actively looking at the future of where do we want to go with the space that we're in? Do we want to stay? Do we want to go? And you start making those plans. And I would venture to say that most of you will have I would say August, September time, there will probably be some changes that start to take place when Jupiter retrogrades into Aquarius. But right now it will be retrograding in Pisces through the end of July. And so this is a time to revisit some of those things in your life that, like I say, in the fourth house, it's about home and family. It's about your psychological roots. This is also a time where maybe there's some great healing that needs to take place in your current home before you make the move to somewhere else. Then, of course, let's talk about the Capricorn full moon on the 24th. It's in your second house. So it may also give you an opportunity to let go of this need to achieve something in your income, or it sets you up to be able to complete a project, complete something that you're wanting to achieve, or you're wanting to get off your plate, and you want to feel successful at. And we all have different definitions of success. And so it affects your income in the sense that it could boost your income because you've finished this and now you get paid out probably in July if you're working off commission, or it's one of those things where it takes time to get recognized, awarded, that sort of thing. But I would venture to say around this full moon, some of you Sages will get some sort of accolade around completing something with your income. You may also find that you have a home project that you've been working on, or an office project. Let's say you've been working from home, that now you get to go back to the office because restrictions have lifted and that sort of thing. And so I would say that most likely those are the areas and situations that you may be affected by, where you complete those kinds of projects or those kinds of situations. There is a small pocket of Sages who may end up leaving your job because you have something better to go to, or it's time for you to move on. And if you didn't make the decision, the universe will do it for you. And just keep in mind that it is for your benefit, and you will find something better. I'm also indicating here that a couple of you Sages, especially as you're revisiting your home situation, if you're moving or you're considering down the road to change where you live, it may be because of an income situation and you're ready to take on something new. So you let go of your current income for a new job, or you are expanding your horizons and you're moving and having to get a new job. So you're maybe applying and going through that process of gathering new opportunities. Also, Venus will enter Leo in your ninth house on June 27th, further energizing all your ninth house themes, which you're very familiar with as Sag, because it traditionally rules the ninth house. And so with Venus and Mars here, makes you the cosmic lover when it comes to truth, when it comes to meaning, when it comes to great faith and future, being able to see things and have that adventurous spirit in you really active. And I would imagine that this also will give you a time to receive great pleasure in the way that others who have been loyal and faithful to you want to give. They want to offer you whatever you might need, and whatever, let's say you have a just cause that you're fighting for. This could be a time from the end of June into July, when Venus is transiting through Leo. This could be a time for you to receive all the pieces and the parts that you need in order to support the cause that you are fighting for. And that can be, relationship. Maybe you and your partner are fighting together, united against somebody or something, or maybe you're wanting to solidify and firm up some of the things that you need in order to push a particular agenda forward. It may also, I will say this again for the single Sages, that Venus moving into Leo can attract to you someone who is a long-term partner and is faithful, who's loyal, who wants commitment, and who energizes your pleasure, energizes you, and brings out the best in you. That's how you'll know. Okay, I really hope that this video helps. I know it's a generalized one. It's not totally specific for everybody. So please come find me at jamiedawn.com. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And I look forward to hearing how it goes, Sag. Have a great month.